Hi, it's been a while since I posted a van video, so let me catch you up to speed. In this video, we'll go through all of the wiring, solar, custom air conditioner install, and the inside controls. First though, you might have noticed my homemade battery from the micro camper sitting on the floor of the van. That's because the Tesla battery I installed in the last video, well, it died. I'll take it apart to see what's wrong. I'm guessing it's the BMS board. If that's the case, even though the company that made it's out of business, others are available online. For now though, this is powering the van. And with only about 3.5 kilowatt hours, it's not keeping the voltage high enough to power the air conditioner all night, which was the goal. And part of the problem is more of the type batteries I'm using. These are lithium ion batteries, not lithium iron phosphate. So the voltage drops a lot more as they discharge. So for now I'll try to skate through the free build phase by fixing the Tesla battery, but I'm looking around for a quality company that makes 24 volt batteries that lets me use the 24 volt components that I built the system with. But the wiring itself is done and everything is operational. The wires themselves are wire tied and tucked up behind this channel. I'll draw up a wiring diagram so you can see how it's put together. Hopefully if I didn't get lazy, you're seeing that right up here somewhere. Most of what you see right here is for charging the battery. There are 3 ways to keep it charged. First, there's the DC to DC converter that charges from the alternator when we're driving. I use the existing power cable that used to go to the wheelchair lift. It's a lot bigger than we need, but it was already here and already fused up at the battery. It only draws 10 amps, so we don't have to worry about overloading the alternator. This Victron model detects when the alternator is not charging and automatically shuts off to protect from draining the cranking battery. The second charger is the MPPT controller, connected to 4 100-watt solar panels up top. These are Harbor Freight panels that I picked up for the shuttle bus project and I haven't used yet. I drilled out the rivets holding the fold-out legs, connected them with self-tapping metal screws, then mounted them to aluminum rails. It was all attached to the roof with aluminum angle brackets. The rails and hardware came from my military surplus stash. I'm hoping there's enough airflow up underneath there. It's a little bit tight against the roof. I just wanted to keep it low to make sure I didn't have clearance issues at drive-thrus. Right now the van sits at just over 8 feet tall with the panels installed. They're wired in series, run through a waterproof box on the roof, and have a fuse on each wire before connecting to the MPPT. This is on all the time, charging whenever there's sunlight. And the third charger is a little 10 amp shore power charger. It's wired to the input of the cutover switch so that it's on any time that shore power is plugged into the inlet in the bumper. This way I never have to worry about turning on the charger, and there's no chance of creating a loop where the charger is running off the inverter. And speaking of the inverter, I'll probably be switching that one out. It works okay, but it doesn't have a very wide input voltage range. This means that it alarms right when the battery starts to get low, about 80% battery capacity. It's loud, it's annoying, so can either have air conditioning or I can have sleep, but not both, which is not ideal. It's mounted up underneath the passenger seat, so I'm looking for a bigger inverter with a wider input range that still fits in that space. Fitting the air conditioner itself was probably the hardest part of the van build so far. There's some nice 12 volt AC units designed to fit on the back of the van, but to keep with the goal of building this with funds from the sale of equipment left inside, I needed to find a cheaper solution, a little window unit. Of course, these don't always look the best in a van. You usually see them hanging out the back because you have 2 paths of airflow to contend with. There's the in and out for the air that you're cooling in the front, and then the in and out for the heat being dissipated in the rear, the part hanging out of your window. In the micro camper, I covered the outside part with a ventilated box that also housed the electronics. Here though, I had a different solution. Now, this wasn't an original idea. I saw a similar setup in another van build video. I don't have that right now, but if I can find it, I'll link it below. So what I ended up doing was mounting the whole thing inside and building a box to manage the airflow. For the outside air path that dissipated the heat, I cut holes in the floor on each side for the intake and a hole in the side of the van for the heated air to blow out. I did run into a few problems, such as cutting a hole right where there's a body frame support. After putting some holes in the support though, I think the airflow is going to be fine. This path was sealed off and insulated from the rest of the inside of the van. As for the unit itself, I started by making a catch pan out of some scrap stainless steel to catch condensation and drain it out underneath. That pan sits on a rubber pad and the wind unit sits inside it. From there, it was just a matter of mounting everything in place and sealing it up. To integrate the inside air path with the dresser that was going to fit around it, I removed the two front drawers and fit vent panels for the intake and the output. On the output, I made a diverter to make sure I got all the air from the upper vent outside of the cabinet. I extended the 12 wires attached to the unit's control panel and mounted it on a walnut board. Then I shaped the board to fit the window recess. And this board also houses the controls for the water pump, my overhead lights, and a diesel heater that will be added soon. That brings us to the 12 volt side. That cargo channel that I had so much trouble with and ended up just leaving underneath the floor, well, I was able to use that as a channel to run the wires from the 24 volt bus bar. The positive side runs through one of these breakers, then feeds a voltage converter which provides 12 volt to the side of the van. The 12 volt circuit is very low amperage. The wire feeding the converter runs through a 5 amp breaker, keeping it to about 120 watts total. This is plenty for the little water pump and the overhead lights. Since I'll be covering some windows, I bought a really cheap radio with a rear camera to see behind the van. And by cheap I mean about 30 bucks. I have to see how it holds up, but it seems to be working well so far. I bought a mounting kit that's supposed to let you slide the head unit in from the front. It didn't work so well for me, so I ended up just making my own brackets. It's so easy to remove the dash panel that this just really wasn't an issue. While the panel was out, I also mounted a wireless phone charging mount to the dash. The backup camera was wired through the solar box up top and underneath the panels to the back of the solar panel frame. I started this project with the goal of building a functional camper van with solar, batteries, air conditioning, heat, and water, all paid for by selling the contents of the van, also covering the cost of the van itself. Well, we're pretty much there except for a couple little things that I bought but not yet installed. There wasn't much interest in the free part of the van build, and I kind of get it. It's not like these deals are really out there for you to find, and if I wanted to do it all again, I'm sure I couldn't. I was just really lucky to fall into this. And even if you don't have to pay for anything out of pocket, there's so much time put into these builds, and that's the real investment. If you're keeping track though, we did manage to make this a free camper van build. Our biggest items sold were the transport cot and the folding seats. All the little specialty transport hardware pieces really added up too. So this is the total cost of the build, including the van, and this is the amount brought in from sales. We're even able to splurge and buy a few extras like the awning and blinds for windows. It's been a really fun and challenging build so far. I can't say I regret any of it. It also feels really good to use up some of the recycled materials I've been stockpiling, finding uses for all the I'll use it for something junk sitting around. I hope you're enjoying the transformation so far. There's a playlist below in case you missed any of it. Looking back at those, I really hope my video skills are improving too. Also, I'll make a complete build video sometime after everything's done. From this point, we'll be paying for some upgrades, especially for the appearance of the van. I'm not so concerned about its looks, but I've got kids who are much more stylish than me. So I'm shooting for an aesthetic that's a little less kidnapper van. I've already done a few things like replacing the top trim and adding pinstripes to help blend the door side. I resealed the cap while I was at it, so we shouldn't develop any leaks there. Next we'll be updating the front end with the newer style Ford van front. I've already gathered all the parts and hope to have that done next week. So with that, I should see you in about a week. And here's some footage for making the bed skirt, or bed kilt, because, that's much more manly.